Hi, I just wanted to make this video to explain a few things on the visualization part. I know we covered quite a bit in class without actually doing it on Excel, but hopefully this video will kind of help you. Just to start things off, let me type my name. So that way we get our data points here. And again, remember, the difference in scores is basically our data. In order to get this, remember, it's always new minus old. And so if these are the scores before testing, that would be the old versus the scores after tutoring, which would be the new. So again, we want to do equals new minus the old to get our differences. I'm just going to drag it down here. Oops. To get my differences. All right, so let's go to the visualization. All right, so now my differences appear here. And first we need to start to make our frequency distribution. So in order to do that, I need to get my min and my max. So to get my min, again, just like I showed in class, is going to be min, parenthesis, highlight all my data, all 50, in parentheses, boom. All right, my max, parentheses, highlight here, in parentheses. Now I have my max. Okay, so I need to get my class width. So to do that, like I showed in class as well, I'm going to do equals parentheses my max value or my max data set point minus the min parentheses divided by, well, here on our frequency distribution, we're only going to have 5 classes here. So I'm going to want to divide by 5. So when I do that, I get 2.1. Now, the easiest thing to work with is, and like also what I said in class, is you always want to round it to a very comfortable number. And usually a comfortable number, at least I find it to be, is 5. So I'm actually going to round this up to 2.5. So I'm going to erase this part and just put 2.5. So my class width is 2.5. All right, so let's start this off. So starting at 0, and going to my upper limit, well, that's going to be my lower limit plus my class width, which is 2.5. Okay. Now, to get my lower limit, well, I'm going to do equals. Now, also what I mentioned, and I know my example wasn't using decimals, but we don't want to double count the number. So I don't want to put 2.5 here for my next lower limit. I want to do 0.1 more. So I'm going to do my upper limit plus 0.1. And that gives me my new lower limit. Now, again, I want to do my lower limit plus my class width, and then I'll just kind of follow suit. Okay. And I'm actually going to make this easier on myself. There we go. All right, so now I have my lower limit and my upper limit. So to get the frequencies, like I showed you in class, we want to be able, because there's 50 data points here, so that could take a long time and also increase error. So we're going to use technology to decrease error. So we want to use the count if function. So I'm going to do equals count if parenthesis, and remember you need to highlight all your data. That'd be the range, all 50. comma, quotation. Now I want to count all the numbers that are less than 2.5 or 2/5 or 2 and 5/10 below, including it. So I'm going to do the less than or equal to 2.5 in quotation parentheses, and boom. So I have 10 data points that are between 0 and 2.5. So let's continue this, and I'm going to drag things down. And remember, as I drag things down, these numbers are going to be changing, and I don't want that to happen because I want it to capture the whole data set. So I'm going to do money signs in front of the letter and the number, and then I'm going to drag things down. Boom. Okay, so now you see it should be a carbon copy of the first cell, which is why I get all 10s here. Now I'm going to go in individually and change these. So going here, first off, I am going to change this number from 2.5 to 5.1, and I get 14. Now here's the thing though. Remember, the argument, this section here is the argument or the criteria. The argument is saying, well, we want to count all the numbers that is less than 5.5 in the whole data set. Well, the problem with that is that's also going to include the number that I just got for this class, which was 10. So for each of these, I want to subtract the numbers that come previously before. So I want to subtract 10, and that tells me that there are 4 that are within this class. Okay. All right, and then you will continue as follow. Now, I'm not going to show you how to do the rest of these. It is literally is doing the same thing that we did here. Now, let me show you how to make the histogram. So you're going to want to go to, let me actually make my bins really quick. So to make the bin, before I forget, you're going to want to set it up like this. But be careful, because if you just put, for example, 0, space, 2 and 5/10, I think I already have it set, but you might have it set where it says custom, and that's going to change it to like a date. So you want to make sure that you go back to the home and that you go here and that you have these all set to text. So now they're all set to text. So here I do 2.6, 5.1, 5.2, and here Excel will autofill for you if you have that turned on and set. Okay, now that I have my frequency distribution set up here, I am going to show you how to make the histogram. So you don't actually want to use the histogram in Excel. You want to use the bar chart, and we're going to turn it into a histogram. So to do that, you're going to want to highlight your data to where it looks like this. Then you want to go to Insert, and you want to go to this one, first one, and do the 2D column. Okay, now we have our frequency table here, but we want to make it into a histogram. So I'm going to click on one of the bars. I'm going to right click, and I want to go to Format Data Series. So I'm going to click on Format Data Series. And what I want to do, and remember in class I said that bar charts are separated and don't begin on the axis versus histograms do, and they are connected. So I want to go to gap width, and I want to decrease it to 0%, and thus I get my histogram. Obviously yours will look very different, you know, because I didn't do those, and obviously we're all going to have different numbers, but that is how you do it. I hope you find this very helpful.